Hey everyone, Mr. Devil here, Kenny Danico, 3-time Stanley Cup champion of the New Jersey Devils, and you're listening to the Uncle Pucker's New Jersey Devils podcast. Let's go Devils!
Anybody else a little worried about Danico after that last game in the third period where I think he had a minor stroke?
What was the name of that monster in the Never-Ending Story that eats the rocks? I sent that.
The rock. I think
you
it's
guys.
the rock.
We used to have good quality rocks.
That was so funny. When you sent that meme, I was cracking up.
I sent that to like 5 people.
That was so funny. So, but yeah, Danico was having some trouble there in preseason game number 2. Before we dive into everything, I do want to just start with the announcing. Like, what do you guys think of our new play-by-play guy?
I wanted to bring this up on the first game. It was kind of impartial to it. I thought that it was neither here nor there, I guess is a good way to kind of put it. It didn't bother me per se, but I don't really feel the chemistry between him and Dano yet at this point. There's been some awkward moments. I mean, right now, I guess I would honestly say it feels like a step below Bill, only because, like we've talked about, there was kind of a growing with Bill, and you knew he was a younger guy coming in. We kind of saw him scratch his way through and then just kind of build up to where he was. And he had great energy calls. The energy calls were definitely his thing. His timing on that was fantastic. So he's got Don on that aspect for sure. Beyond that, I'm still kind of impartial and waiting for the season to kind of kick up, but it hasn't been anything fantastic.
Yeah, I'm not totally like, I'm still like in a little bit missing Bill. Like Bob said, I really thought he did a very good job of building up to a goal. Just had an instinct to know when something was about to happen and building up to that goal. On the other hand, he did step over some things a little bit and stepped on, other types of things and would kind of ramble through like important plays with nonsense stories. I'll say this. I think everyone's in preseason right now. So that's kind of what I think it is. But this fucking guy, like Don, if you're listening, I know I just saw that you spent a lot of time on YouTube. But if you're listening, man, you gotta learn these guys' names. You have to. It's Gritsuk, not Gritslick. It's not Gritslick.
When did we sign what's his name? Nimitz? You guys hear about this guy? We have a new guy, Nimitz, on the team. I think he's plays defense. Yeah. I'm not sure.
The Huggis brothers.
Nico Hischire.
I was listening to an ESPN game that Ray Ferraro was doing, and I tweeted at him, and I was like, buddy, it's Hischier. Buddy, it's Hischier, not Hischire.
Yes.
And he DM'd me and was like, man, that name, for whatever reason, I struggle so much. He's like in between the benches, and I'm getting DMs from him, and I'm like,
wow.
You're like, right, what are you doing? Like, don't look at Twitter during the game. I was just fucking around. Like, stop that.
Yes.
I feel the same way that you guys do about Don LaGreca, especially you, Bobby. Like, I feel like he's just kind of there. Like, there's no excitement. Like, I know that a lot of people didn't like Spalding. I was a big Bill Spalding fan. I liked everything that Bill brought to the game. He had energy. He was exciting. His calls kind of fired you up. He was just geeky and nerdy enough to kind of be cool in that sense. And he genuinely seemed like a guy that loved doing what he was doing every single night. And anytime you go to a concert, right, and the guy is on stage or just having a blast, right, and there's no place they'd rather be than right there, you have more fun as a fan. You have more fun as a viewer when the announcers are super exciting and everything. Don LaGreca has the fucking energy of a mop. I mean, it's just, and I get, okay, it's preseason, but I also have a conspiracy theory about Don LaGreca. All right.
Tell.
I will. So I was thinking about this the other night in the game, right? We know that we are all, as Devil fans, the Devils team, the Devils media, the Devils organization as a whole is looked at as the retarded little brother of the Rangers, right? We're stragglers on their network, which is named after their arena. It is all Rangers. And then we also play the Islanders. And on the fourth MSG channel, you can get the Devils, right? So Sam
Did you
Rosen
develop this conspiracy theory as you were trying to record the Devils game? And
no, I actually thought about this after I recorded 20 minutes of dead air. But so as I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, you know what? Sam Rosen was, like him or not, was a god when it came to play-by-play in hockey, especially in this area, right? It was always Doc Emmerich and Sam Rosen, right? Those two guys were the two giants, the first two dudes you put on modernish day Mount Rushmore of hockey announcers. Oof. Now Bill comes in.
He's not wrong. I know it stinks.
I know, but I think there's a far gap between him and Doc. But okay, I'll give it to you. But yeah,
no, I agree. I put Doc much higher, but you can't argue with the fact that Sam Rosen
in the
is
area.
there.
In the area,
right? He's in the zip code. So he moved out of the neighborhood, though, and Kenny Albert moved in. And we all know Kenny Albert is serviceable, but in no way, shape, or form is Kenny Albert really good, especially at hockey. I just don't. I'm so tired of. It's Kenny Albert live from the Superdome, where we're going to get the Panthers against the New Orleans Saints. Now, I'm fucking tired of that dude. So he comes in, takes over the Ranger games. Now, on MSG, you have Kenny Albert, who's meh, and Bill Spalding, who's really, really good. We can't have the really good announcer calling for the retarded stepbrother of our team. So they fire the good guy. They basically put an MSG plant, a Ranger plant. I'm tired. I know I've been a Devil fan my whole life, but he worked for the fucking Rangers his whole life. So I know he probably doesn't work for the Rangers. I probably don't know what I'm talking about with that. But regardless, he worked at MSG. He was always doing Ranger broadcasts, and they bring this guy in who is just okay. We get rid of our good guy because, God forbid, we get a little bit of traction because we have more exciting announcer, and people might tend to tune in to watch Jack with the cool calls and with Bill Spalding as opposed to Kenny Albert and JT Miller. So that's why I think Spalding got screwed. He was too good, and the Rangers and MSG network fucked him over. That's my conspiracy theory.
Well, that's why they call them conspiracy theories. So we'll definitely give you that. I mean, I will tell you, it is odd. We've talked about this before. Our network, when I told my son, I'm like, you have to understand, when we lost these people, they weren't employed by the Devils. They were employed by a network. It's owned by the Rangers. It's very weird. So we didn't lose Devil family technically. MSG just went ahead and moved on to other. They just represented us, and that is still a very odd thing to me.
We're the only team in the league, I think, that has this arrangement, whose local broadcast partner is owned by another team.
I mean, or their direct competitor too.
Yeah, I don't think LA and Anaheim aren't like this. I don't think there's any other markets that are even remotely close to us. No. It just so happens that the arenas are 12 miles apart or whatever it is.
Yeah, but we've talked about the other options between Yes Network and Sportsnet New York.
I agree.
Regardless of where your allegiance are in those sports, it doesn't matter. If we were on either one of those channels, they would at least give us a Devils brand. Yeah. You know what I mean? And not this kind of offshoot of New York. So yeah, it is. I'm buying it, Chris. Conspiracy all the way. I'm with you. That's it.
I would like to see the Devils produce their own hockey show.
Chris is right.
Yeah, this is
It's also a cheapness on MSG's part to double dip and pay Don one salary for 3 jobs.
Right. And Chris is right. Donnie had several super awkward interactions with Danico the other night in game 2. There was, I mean, I know that they have known each other for a long time, and I thought that Bill and Ken Danico were legitimate buddies.
Do you remember when Bill came in and Danico he had an interview, and he was saying how when they were searching through candidates, the candidates had to come in. They had to read lines to games that already happened because Danico mentioned how it was awkward for him because he already called the game, but they had to pretend like it was. And he came out and he was just there was just a connection. We all knew it was going to be Bill. Notice how that shit didn't happen this time. You know what I mean? Like, there's no word of that. There's no
Yeah.
kind of instant chemistry. It's just kind of like, hey, another rising star. We're going to kick to the curb like Erica. Like, sorry, you're too good for us. We need to move on. It's very weird.
It sucks. It sucks because
And
I don't
now-
even know if Bill's going to ever do hockey again.
No, there was an LA job that was open, but that got taken by someone else. Now he's doing like Olympic speed walking trials at 3 a.m. on fucking the Olympic channel.
That's what
I mean,
Bill
to be
Spaulding's
the,
doing.
to
He's
be
too
the master
talented
of
for
the
that.
crescendo is actually a very important part of sports.
It very much
Like,
is.
he builds you up so much. You're almost like, if they don't score, this is going to be really awkward because he's there. He's right about that post. You know what I mean? And his timing was really good.
I mean, you talk about these guys, and they are the soundtrack to certain players' careers, and I thought that Jack and Nico were going to have Bill and Danico to an extent as the soundtrack to his careers, like Bill calling Jack's goals, in that first round Rangers series, fucking epic, and we'll always have that. It's just, I don't know, we'll see. Like I said this before, like. I am not gonna, lose sleep over this or anything. I just think it still kind of doesn't sit right with me. But I'll give Don a chance. He's our guy now, and fuck the Rangers.
Because there's always that sense when you're watching something else, especially in these days of like having a package where you're like, oh, I just want to hear our guys. I don't want ESPN. I want our guys. Like, it's gonna probably take me a while before that's a concern this season.
Right.
Yeah.
And I still want to hear Dano, but it's not like I want to hear our guys, because right now I haven't heard them riffing off each other where it's anything that's fun.
I was just happy the last game when Bryce and Kenny were kind of in their interactions. Hey Sean, how are you, man? Welcome. I liked that, but I could do without Don LaGreca. He just does nothing for me. Even the goals, like when it's preseason. Is he just not in form? I guess that's a possibility, right? But there's no excitement, and he scores.
We do know he could be fiery because we talked about it in the summer. Some of his other stuff that he's done.
Fiery.
On air.
He's argumentative. I'll give you that.
But I think he can get to that next level where he can bring some of that fire, and that will translate to excitement for the.
I hope so.
And I think some
part
of
the
it is part of Bill, like, being able to build up is understanding also how Jack and Brat play together. And that Dougie goal is just kind of like, he's like, a Dougie scores, and it's like,
there's
come on, man, call it a fucking Dougie bomb or something. Like,
Tim was
fucking
especially disappointed by the lack of enthusiasm for the Dougie goal.
Yeah, no shit.
His
25 goals, 45 assists this season.
Oof.
But I just thought too, like, there's the not knowing the names, not like having any excitement to call the game, just seemed to me like this guy was just plopped in to take over a job to a team that the MSG network does not give two shits about, and that's it. And
I mean, like I said, I do think there is a preseason element to this. I mean, fucking Danico towards the end of the last game, I think a lot of people thought he might have been stroking out there.
Yeah, I said that. I thought the guy just had a fucking stroke.
And for those everybody that obviously, the behind the scenes of the Pucker text chat, Bob sent oh yeah, he did do that. That was fucking weird.
He writes, he basically insulted Dano's son. Fucking weird.
I remember that.
He said
it was something about because he was talking about John McClane's kid.
Yeah.
And it was something like along the lines of like, that must be really cool, when you have your son in the NHL as opposed to singing anthems or something like that.
He said that?
It was something like that. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but it was kind of fucked up.
Oh shit!
It was something also about being like especially proud that your kid made it to the NHL, almost alluding to like, I mean, you couldn't possibly be proud of your kid for anything else.
Right,
Only that would make you proud of him. And there was definitely a pause and hesitation, and
it was weird. Yeah, breaks off of him too, which is kind of funny. But LaGreca's not a small dude, but yeah,
Danico.
So the behind the scenes Pucker chat, Bob sent probably one of the best memes ever. He said it's the rock monster from Neverending Story. This Danico sounded like he ate either a bag of gravel or like 6 cigars the night before.
It's tough, man.
Yeah, he was having a rough go of it by the third period. But I actually recorded the game. I still have it recorded. I'm gonna go back and kind of go through the first period, see if I can find that.
It was very offhand, but it was when he was talking about Kyle McLean, who is John McClane's son.
Yeah, that is a little messed up. I think his son does a fine job singing the national anthem.
Yeah, it's like
I think both of our examples were completely wrong, but either way, we all caught on the awkwardness. That's the key to this.
It was, yes, he didn't outright say it, but it was implied.
Right, I got you.
You know,
yeah, I mean,
it's
people
kind of
are
like,
picking up
hey,
on
your son's gay. He sings the anthems. You know, that type of
Yeah.
fucking schoolyard bullshit.
Yeah, he definitely seems like that kind of guy too. I don't know. I miss Bill.
Yeah.
So we'll
miss
see how
Bill.
this season goes.
If you do want to catch Bill, he will be doing a lot of the track and field for the Olympics.
All right. Well, at least that'll be fun to wait. What, 3 more years for Summer Olympics on your track and fields?
He will be able to. He will be able to crescendo to the finishing very well because there is a finish line in a lot of those events.
Sean's right. Sean's right about this. He just sounds like he's careless about hockey, and it does sound weird. It's just like he's just kind of going through the motions, and I don't like it.
Yeah. You know what, too? Our generation of Devils fans, like, we're going to nitpick even a little further because, like, literally Doc wrote the book on pronouncing players' names.
Yeah.
You know, like, he literally took that to heart. He wrote it, and everybody would depend on him to make sure that enunciation of the names were correct. So I pick up on that big time when they're way off.
Yeah, because Doc would never mess up a person's name. No, he absolutely, and he would tell you during the broadcast, like he was practicing that one all night, for certain names. So yeah, he was awesome. He's the best.
I actually debated writing a blog about this.
About what, Doc?
About Bill versus
Don.
Bill versus Don.
I think you should, and I think you should put our conspiracy front and center.
No,
I think you should. Yeah, so, and like Chris writes, Bill apparently did an insane amount of prep, and our guy now can't even remember the names. So I'm guessing he's not
got
doing
like a huge
prep.
chart like this. It's laminated. Someone, I'm in another text group. Sorry, I cheat on you guys sometimes.
That's all right, buddy.
And he sent me sent a picture of, they're in like kind of an open air booth above where they stand doing the game. It's kind of like almost embedded in the crowd, and his fucking sheet was like this big and laminated. It was pretty wild.
That is cool. So, all right, how about we do some projections? How about we talk? I mean, when season starts in 2 weeks, boys. So let's see who everybody's got going to the playoffs this year and where everybody thinks they're gonna end up. So, you guys got your homework done?
No, I have nothing written down. It's all up here.
All right, you have all the teams? Because I ranked every team in each division.
How deep are we going? Yes, I've ranked every team in every division.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so we'll start with the Central. We'll start with the Central, and I guess we'll start bottom up, and we'll see where everybody landed, okay? So I have last place in the Central Division, the Chicago Blackhawks. Last year, they had 61 points. I'm going to project them to get more than that. They are going to have a much better year. 78 points. That's dead last in the Central to me. What do you guys got?
Just looking what I got here. I will agree with that. I don't see how they're going to overtake a Predators team that should probably get a few more points, if not mercy points, and a Mammoth team that's going to obviously be better than expected. So I'll keep them last. I don't really have points for them yet. I don't have points till I get to the playoff level. But yeah, I'll go last.
I think Nashville's coming in last.
Okay.
These guys are just washed. I don't see anything redeeming about them, and I could be wrong, but it's just they're not a good team. They have shitty center depth. Like, I think they made the wrong goalie choice. Yossi's old, Stamkos is old, Marchessault's old. They're not a good team.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really argue with that. I have Nashville coming in second to last. They had 68 points this year. I gave them 82 points this year. I think they will be better, but they're not going to be anywhere near a playoff.
Barry Trotz made a pretty funny comment, though, which I thought was funny. Is he said the experts were wrong the last 2 years, so let's see if we can make it 3 in a row.
Yeah, well,
right, yeah, very weird.
All right. Well, I have Nashville second to last. I don't think I'm going to be too wrong about that. What do you got, Bob?
I agree. They're second to last. I'll give them 5 or more wins, maybe 78, 80 points, something like that. But I think they're still going to be like just nothing. They're not going to matter.
And now the next team that I have, it's a playoff team from last year that I think is going to go down. I just think there's a lot of drama there right now. There's going to continue to be a lot of drama throughout the year. I think, unfortunately, the Minnesota Wild are not going to be repeat into the playoffs. They had 97 points. I think they dipped down 89, 90 points around there. They're not going to make the playoffs this year.
Let's see. Okay. Yeah. I knocked them out of the playoffs as well. Spoiler for kind of my next level, but basically being replaced by Utah.
Yeah, I actually have Utah in the playoff spot too.
Yeah, I got them at around 95 points, which would be only a 6-point increase from where they were. I think that's very reasonable. And the Wild just come down just enough points to knock them out of wild card 2.
Well, maybe we'll do this differently. Who do you have for your top 3 on that in the Central, Bob?
Okay. So I have Central number 1. I do still have the Jets. Oh no, I've changed it to Dallas at about 113 points. Central number 2, the Jets come down to earth a little bit for 106. And Central number 3, right where the Avs were last year, but up a point or 2 to 105.
All right, so I have the Stars last year. They had 106. I have them at more than that, about 110 points. Got the Jets exactly where you are, about 106 points in second place, and I have the Avs right around where they were last year at 102 points. Okay. So those are the 3 I have, same as last year going in. What do you got, Tim?
Pretty similar. I have Dallas taking the division. I think Winnipeg's going to fall off a little bit. I think the loss of Ehlers is going to hurt them. They're still going to be a very good team, but they won the President's Trophy, so they're still going to be a low 100-point team. Avs, yeah, same thing, basically the same place. Utah, I think, is going to overtake Minnesota. Also, I think Minnesota is going to take a pretty hefty step back, and I think, and this is kind of counter to some things I've said before. I think the vibes in Chicago are a little different this year. Just shit I've seen from practices, some of Bedard's stuff that I've seen.
Good.
And
that it's
every reporter, is on this Sam Renzel train for being a a dark horse for Calder.
Okay.
I think that's good. So I think you really kind of start to see some of the fruits of Kyle Davidson's labor here. With Lechunov, Renzel, Bedard, Nazar.
They have the goalie too. They got Spencer Knight.
Yeah, Spencer Knight is a very good goalie. So I think they take a step. I think they take a big step. I think they wind up in the 80s point wise.
Oh, wow. See, I have Utah coming in 4th in the Central, 89 points last year. I think they flipped that. They go 98 points this year. They are my first wild card team. I do have Utah making the playoffs.
Okay, me too.
Yeah, they're my second wild card team, but I do. But, Tim, even if the Blackhawks do move that much, it still keeps them kind of at the bottom.
Yeah, it'll
go, really.
But they were at 68 points. So, they're certainly
61, I think.
61. Predators were
61 points.
Yeah, they're going to be trending better.
I agree.
I think Nashville's just going to be the laughing stock of the league.
Well, I mean, I gave Chicago, they had 61 points last year. I gave them 78 points this year. That's a huge jump. If you can go up 17 points, that's big. So, and I still have them in dead last. So, I mean, all right. So I also, the last team then is St. Louis. They were 96 points. I think they take a little dip, 94.
Who?
They missed it. Exactly.
I forgot about St. Louis.
They missed the playoffs. St. Louis is not back in the playoffs this year. Utah is going to take that spot.
Yeah,
and
that's what
Minnesota is also out. So
I totally forgot about St. Louis.
So forget.
So I think we're all on with the Stars, the Jets, the Avs in that order, and we all have Utah making the playoffs.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go.
Yeah,
let's
that's interesting.
To the Pacific then. Okay. Bobby, what do you got your first 3 in the Pacific?
All right, so I'm keeping the Knights in the Pacific. I'm up in their points. I think they got 110 last year. I'm seeing like a 115. I'm going to flip the Oilers and the Kings, though, as far as regular season points. I think the Oilers actually get a few more points this year, just like another win, like 107. And then that would leave the Kings down the third for maybe like 100 points.
What do you got, Tim?
Yeah, Knights, Oilers, Kings, and I actually have Anaheim making the playoffs.
Okay, I have Anaheim out. I have Vegas. They had 110 last year. I had them at 108 points. I don't necessarily trust Edmonton a whole lot. I think LA takes second in that division, but it's still not 105 points last year. I think they dropped to maybe 102, and the Oilers 101. I think they're about a 100-point team. So you have Anaheim moving into that second wild card, right?
I do, same as Utah. You know, and look, you know, I think I'm just kind of wish casting here. You know, reality may be a different thing. I want to see some of these young teams with fun young players,
Yeah.
you know, take those steps. You know, Utah is going to be, I think, my San Jose this year. The West Coast team that I watch a lot of just because they seem like a really fun fucking team. I think they're kind of in that 22-23 Devils-ish mold. I'm not going to count out the Oilers yet. I think, and I think the Knights are going to be just fucking nasty. Although I think the Knights, their biggest question mark is Pietrangelo, and you know he's apparently never going to play again, which is a huge blow to their blue line. But the addition of Marner, you know, regular season GOAT, so I think they're going to be good. Kings, I think they're on the slow train down. I don't think their free agency was a fucking disaster, but they still have so many good pieces around them. And I really like Anaheim, and I also want to see Vancouver miss the playoffs for obvious reasons.
Who do you have for your wild card, Bob?
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying. I actually screwed up. I couldn't even read my writing there. I didn't know what to do with the Wild, so I moved them. Actually, I kept them. They're a push. I just kept them at the same points where they were. So their wild card 1 to me, and Utah's wild card 2.
Okay, so you have Minnesota going back in.
Minnesota 97 points, Utah 95.
Okay, and I'm gonna take the wild card. See, I have Calgary making it this year.
Okay.
Calgary 96 points last year. They're gonna have 96 points again this year. They're gonna get the second wild card.
Right.
So my playoffs for the first round would be Dallas versus Calgary, Vegas versus Utah, Colorado versus Winnipeg, and the Edmonton Oilers versus the Kings again.
Ugh, gross.
That's what I got.
Yeah, so I got Dallas, Utah, Jets, Avs, Knights, Wild, and Oilers, Kings again.
Did you do winners?
I did not go that far, but I could probably do that.
See, so then I had Dallas versus Vegas, and then Kings. Dallas versus the Kings. I have Vegas versus Winnipeg, and then I had Dallas versus VGK in the Western Conference Final, with Vegas going to the Stanley Cup Final.
I'm definitely not prepared to go that far.
I know.
Yeah,
That's
you really did your homework. I'm scribbling this shit down. I mean, I forgot a team that fucking existed already.
Well, we've done that. It's always St. Louis.
Yeah, I think the way I have it lined up would be Dallas, Anaheim, Knights, Utah, Oilers, LA. Those fucking guys can't avoid that matchup. It's
I
just so
know.
hard.
And
then Winnipeg Abs, which would be an interesting.
That would be good.
Really,
I think I had that
really
one too.
good series.
I
just want to see some fresh blood. Some of these kids get, some of these kids get in the playoffs.
Is that true? What the boys are saying over
yeah,
there?
let's get to that.
Let's get to that.
Barkov got really badly hurt in practice today and had to be helped off the ice. Couldn't even put weight on his right leg. So they're evaluating him, but that is karma.
Yeah, that's maybe that's going to make me rethink the Atlantic Division, which was very difficult. And I have a big surprise in the Atlantic Division that I think people are going to be really kind of surprised by. So, Bobby, the Atlantic, who you got for your 3?
All right, so let's see. I've got Atlantic 1. Since I have the Leafs falling back a little bit, I'm giving it to the Lightning at 104 points. Atlantic 2 would be the Leafs at 103, the Panthers at 98.
Tim?
With the Barkov stuff, I'm still gonna say it. I think Toronto takes the division. I think Atlantic is a tricky one to do. There's a pretty serious divide between the haves and have-nots in that division still, but it's getting closer. And I think a case can be made for a lot of the teams that have been out of the playoffs, except for one, to take a serious jump and maintain that jump. So I think Toronto. Nice. There we go. There I froze. So I think it's Toronto, Florida, Tampa, Montreal again.
Okay. I have Toronto as well taking the division. A little bit of a drop off. They had 108 points. I have them at like 106. Montreal Canadiens take the number 2 spot.
Ooh, hang on.
They're going to go from 91 points to 102 points. I think the Canadiens are a team to watch, or they're really just a one-line team without good goaltending, and they're going to be out of it. But I'm going to put some money on the Canadiens for second, take Florida third, and then I have Tampa Bay coming in fourth. They are a playoff team. And I have Ottawa coming in fifth. They're also the playoff team. So I have 5 teams again from the Atlantic, the same 5 teams as last year, but they're just a little jumbled up.
So here's the thing about Montreal. 3 of their, and even 4 if you count Gooley, Matheson, Dobson, Hudson. I didn't realize they were all sons, but anyway, and Gooley are all
come on.
Good offensive defensemen with significant defensive warts. All of their forwards, their top line, that Caulfield, Slafkovsky, Suzuki line, great line. Yeah. Their second line is probably looking like Doc, Line and Demidov. Like Demidov's nasty. Like he's probably going to win the Calder unless something drastic happens. But my question about the Habs is who the fuck's going to play defense on that team? Like, they have Sam Montembeault, but a goalie's only as good as what's in front of him. Yeah. And I think he's going to get absolutely fucking shelled. They might have some 6-5, 7-5 types of games.
I like that the Canadiens are going to be able to hang with everybody this year, especially with the injuries that we're hearing about with Florida now and stuff. So I'm just going to go with them. I always like the Habs. Why not? Let's just change things up. Doesn't always have to be Toronto, Tampa, and Florida. Mm-hmm. So I just threw them in there.
Yeah, all right. And like I wanted to write Toronto off without Marner, but I think they're just a very kind of well-oiled regular season machine.
I agree.
This Barkov thing, God knows what happens to them if he's out and Kachuk's out. But they have kind of depth to withstand stuff like that. So like Lundell's got to step up. They call him Baby Barkov.
If you lose, if Barkov's an ACL, he's out for the year. So I know we're not doctors. I don't even know this happened until 5 minutes ago.
It just happened today. They haven't even evaluated him.
So let's say that if Barkov's out for a significant amount of time, we already know that Matthew Kachuk's going to be out till at least the holidays. And so like that's earliest return. If they don't get off to a hot start and they end up behind the 8 ball with these injuries, they're going to be screwed. They're not going to be able to get back into it. I mean, if this is serious to Barkov and they don't have a different gear or their depth is not what they think it is, they could be in trouble. They could miss the playoffs. They really could with the way that this Eastern Conference is. I mean, the Metro, we'll start there. Now, Bobby, what do you got for the Metro?
So in first place, I think a very respectable 12-point swing in the neighborhood of about maybe 5 more wins and a couple overtime losses are the New Jersey Devils with 103.
Hang on 1 second. I just wanted to I have the video of the Barkov injury.
Oh, okay. Do you though?
Hang on.
All right, I see it.
You see it?
I do.
All right. So,
all right, now you hit play.
I did.
Panthers captain Sasha Barkov suffers apparent lower body injury as we are loading the video. It might. All right, here we go. We have a nice commercial for a supermarket. Sedano's. Florida Panthers. Some people talking, which we can't hear. Why can't we hear them?
Probably.
Can you hear it?
It's a momentum killer.
I know. Just put the brakes on. Video show. Oh yeah, his own guy went. Oh no, he was the guy that went down. That looked a little. It's hard to tell. I thought that he was the guy in the red jersey that the guy skated kind of went down into his knee. Can't really see anything. Just rub some dirt on it and walk it off, you fucking pussy.
Next time we will load the clip. to the action.
Yeah, we'll have that done. All right.
By the way,
so Bobby, go ahead,
10% off at Sedano's with code Uncle Puckers.
yes,
Pucker
go to
Tim.
Sedano's. We don't
Yeah,
even know what
Pucker
the hell
Tim.
they sell, but go there.
5% to Tim.
Yeah, exactly. Jay. He's got
Ah.
Jay says you got to close all the Pornhub tabs first to get
Yeah,
the video working.
I'm not the superintendent of the Oklahoma schools. I don't need to worry about that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you're not deep enough in the weeds.
I guess not.
The superintendent of the Oklahoma schools did a presentation to his school and had porn tabs open when he opened up.
What a dipshit.
Yeah.
All right. So, Bobby, you got our Devils winning the Metro.
I do. I honestly do. I think that I can't picture them not getting 12 more points. I think 103 is so within their wheelhouse that I'm almost being on the low end there, to be honest with you. So I'm going to give them first at 103. Unfortunately, the Canes, I had no other option but to just give them another win, make them 101 points for second place. And in third place, as much as I think they're going to fall pretty far, I mean, the Caps, I do have them falling down from 111 to 98, putting them in third.
Okay.
So unfortunately for me, I think the Rags have a small resurgence, enough to tie your Habs in points at 94, but they'll own the tiebreaker, and they're going to sneak in as wild card too.
Oh, you got the Rangers making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh, I do not have that. What do you have, Tim?
Hurricanes are going to win the division. It's their division until, fuck them. Agree with Jay Snow and Sean. Fuck the Canes, before or after they fuck their sister. But they're going to win the division. We're going to come in second. I was up in the air about third and fourth, but I do think the Rangers bounce back, come in third. I think the Caps fall down to fourth. But I think it's tight. Like, I think these four teams are tight. But we are going to send four teams to the playoffs. And I think the rest of the division is going to be fucking absolute ass.
I got three teams going from the Metro again, and the Rangers aren't one of them. The Devils will win this division. And I think it's going to be a huge jump.
I hope
it's
so.
going to be 110 points, and they're going to be right there with Dallas for the President's Trophy this year. That's how high I am right now before any games were played. I got Carolina coming in second with 100 points. I got Columbus Blue Jackets making a big jump, 9-point difference from 89 to 98. Those are the three teams in the Metro. So you're going to have New Jersey versus Ottawa, Toronto versus Tampa Bay, Montreal versus Florida, Carolina versus Columbus. Round 2, Devils versus Carolina, Toronto versus Florida. Round 3, New Jersey versus Florida. Finals, Vegas versus New Jersey. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, when did Jay Snow? When did Chris become the optimist?
I know.
that was my role. I don't know. 110 points, and I love it.
It's easy to be optimistic when nothing's been played yet. I have an empty canvas, and I can wish upon it whatever the fuck I want, and that's exactly what I want. So
Devils Vegas. That's what we got.
I got Devils Vegas. Yes,
I can see it.
Yeah,
I can see it.
I could go out to Vegas for that.
If this injury, I know I would. Yeah, definitely.
We are definitely
Uncle
doing
Pucker
that.
road trip to there. But actually,
sponsored by Sedano's.
I'd be a little bit nervous about putting Florida in that position if they don't have Barkov, they're in trouble.
Yeah,
that's
they
huge.
are.
Well, they certainly can't do their regular season, blasé play without them and expect to have the same outcome.
Yeah, they won't be able to just turn it on when it matters.
And they also will not be able to bury all that money and go out and just start grabbing players and get ready for the playoffs with, Barkov's going to be back for game 83. And we just went and signed fucking, another $5-6 million player. They can't do that anymore. So
there's an article on The Athletic that I haven't read yet about looking at ways to be able to kind of game the current new cap system. So I'm going to read that, and I will report back in our next show.
You didn't read it yet? Okay.
I did not read it yet, but if anybody wants to go read it, you can. But it sounds like they thought through all the kind of iterations of how you can
written by the
salary cap.
Written by the Vegas front office. How to rip off the LTIR.
How to take credentials away from people.
Exactly. All right, so why don't we discuss a little bit about the second preseason game? We didn't talk about that, the big win over the Islanders, and then we'll finish up with Bobby's fun Year of the Devil game. So we'll go with that. So yeah, I mean that was now okay. It was men versus boys essentially, but it was a ton of fun to watch. I mean, anytime that your team just completely dominates from start to finish, it's fun. But I mean, any thoughts? Anything from you guys? What stood out? Any hot takes? Anything?
I'm not going to pretend to care enough about the Islanders to know what kind of lineup they put up out there. It really doesn't matter when I see top two lines buzzing the way they're capable of buzzing. I don't care who's on the other side of that. And a third line that's shaping up to look really good. I have no fucking idea who the hell was on our fourth line, to be honest with you. Didn't care about that. But I saw very encouraging signs of the way these guys play together. I think Dadnoff's home is already solidified. I don't see any reason he's not getting full start there, for a few weeks into the season at least, to see how this all goes. Very encouraging to see that kind of like early chemistry, So yeah, exciting as hell.
Yeah, and I hope this is something that carries into the season. And Chris, you're right. It was more or less an AHL. It was the Sound Tigers, basically, or
Right.
I think they changed their name to the Islanders, which is fine. Like teams do whatever they have to do. And I kind of joked, it was like, imagine you're some fucking AHL plug and like you're getting your one preseason game and you have to chase fucking Jack and Brad around. Like that would fucking suck.
Sure would.
But like you got to beat the teams that are in front of you, and like that's a problem that this team has had, is playing down to the level of their competition. Like I still think Jack was going at like 60-65% maybe. A couple times he turned it on in the zone. There's one play where he like literally just like lazily just took 2 strides from the red line to like the blue line and then tried to dump it in and went off the defensive shin guards, and he was like, eh. But like, the power play cooked. Dougie looked great. Siegenthaler's, I sent you guys Siegenthaler's like advanced stat line where it was 20 at 5-on-5. It was 20 shots for shot attempts for and 0 against, which is fucking hilarious. Yeah. But I do think we're starting to kind of see what the lineup is going to look like, kind of crystallize it a little bit. I think it's going to be this Nico, Timo, Mercer lineup. Mercer looked good too. He was getting in on the forecheck. He had a nice fucking goal. That was one of our things, is his reluctance to shoot sometimes. Nico looked good. Timo had a couple of points. Jack and Brat, when they decided to fucking play, they put up, they just fucking were toying with people. They had a couple of shifts in zone where literally it's just them just passing to each other just for the fuck of it. Dadnov had that good cleanup on aisle 5, which was with his goal, which is what his job is going to be. And then the third line, it's like, look, if Palat can somehow resurrect himself, care of Connor Brown, I don't want to get ahead of myself. It's a long season, but that was a beautiful cross-ice pass. Went under one of the Islanders' sticks midway through the game. Connor found the nice spot underneath the guy's glove. If those two can be a thing. And there's some Amanda Stein propaganda that was put out today where they were talking about the chemistry between the two, and they slid Cody Glass in there. I was like, yeah, I really like playing with those guys. So I think that's going to be our third line of Glass, Brown, and Palat. And then the fourth line, I think we found a nice little combo of this Cotter-Gritsuk combo. And I do think they're going to start Gritsuk on the fourth line. I've said it before, I'd rather him work his way up based on his play as opposed to get demoted based on his play. So I think it's fine if he starts on the fourth line. I think the training camp battle is really coming down to this 4C. I really liked what I saw from Glendening.
He's going to be the guy.
I think he might be the guy, which again, I don't know what the deal is with Lemico. But he could be the 13th forward. So Lemico, Glendening, Rooney, I haven't even really noticed. Rooney.
Just roll our old bones on over here.
Rooney.
Nason's not long term, so
yeah,
he's got a spot.
I don't know, man. He just had groin surgery. That could be a couple of months.
And also, we talked about it a little bit, but in that interview that Tom Fitzgerald did, he did throw some shade.
He did.
in his way, when he was talking about the fact that he had this groin injury, they wanted him, apparently the Devils wanted him to get surgery early in the summertime. He said he was going to just condition and rehab on his own, and lo and behold, it wasn't enough. He had to get the surgery anyway, and all he did was prolong his timetable by another 3 months or whatever. And I looked like Fitz was not happy that Nason decided to go that route. So, I mean, not that I think there's any issue there, but I agree with you guys. There was a couple of things I really liked about the game. Of course, it only being a preseason game, but if we struggled in that game, then there's a lot of red flags there. I mean, exactly what you're supposed to do to a team that rolls out their AHL affiliate. You got to just stomp on them. It's the same way when you're playing, the Nashvilles and the San Jose's. Like, you can't lose to these teams anymore. You have to just beat the teams that you got to beat. And they did that pretty much effortlessly, was the one thing I liked. And the second thing that I really liked was the fact that we spent all summer and all off season. We always bitch about the same guys, right? All those guys showed up in that game, which is kind of very good looking forward to. If Mercer, Palat, these guys can all pull their weight, do what they're supposed to do, this team could be very, very hard to beat.
I love what I saw from Brown too. You just feel the kind of leadership from that guy.
Yeah, I had a couple of question marks. Obviously the Luke stuff is still looming over this team. We don't need to get into it. There was a report earlier today that LeBron said they seem to be pretty far off on the AAV. No idea what that means. No one's thrown any kind of numbers out, but I think it's, we can all speculate that Luke's camp's at 10-ish and the Devils are at 8-ish. And, we got to bridge that gap somehow. I'd love for Jack to come out and say, you want to be here, sign the deal.
That was a little annoying. Never say that with his brother.
Yeah, it's a little annoying that he hasn't. You kind of got to. It doesn't help his little nepotism argument or the argument against having them together, but whatever. The decor I thought was interesting. I do like Edwards. He's got great four-way mobility. He's got a lot of Andy Green in him. I think Andy Green works for the Devils, so I would love to see. I'd love to see Andy Green basically just be stapled to Edwards' hip wherever he fucking goes, and just show him the way.
This is the way.
I mean, but he's kind of a pussy. Like, I mean, he blocked a shot and limped off. Like, I blocked a shot in my game last night. I mean, look at me. I'm grinding away here.
You just
I'm sure it came just as hard.
Yeah. I mean, I sent like 3 emails today and did a pivot table. So, like, what a pussy. It's nice to see Siegenthaler and Dougie together again. I think that pair was just so good in 22-23, and if they can rekindle some of that magic. Nemec Dillon makes me a little nervous, but I think they'll be fine. The one thing I do think, and I think it's something that kind of just is a bit of a feel thing, is the penalty kill hasn't been very good. Both of the Islanders' goals were on their power plays, and one of them was a pretty bad misassignment to the guy. The first one was a pretty bad misassignment where the guy was just sitting right in the center of the box in the bumper and had all day to shoot. That may be an issue this year if Kovacevic, with Kovacevic out, because I think that means we're going to see some sort of rotation of Dougie and Nemec in that spot, which isn't totally ideal.
I think the PK will get better. I mean, I'm
not
new guys on that now, and
I'm not wildly concerned about it. A lot of new faces. I think Lemico had a chance to shine there. The 5-on-3, he got out there, but in 3 seconds they scored. So no, overall, yeah, like it's hard to glean. Like the first preseason game, we threw out an AHL lineup. The second preseason game, the other team threw out an AHL lineup. I think as the preseason goes on, we'll see more and more kind of NHL versus NHL talent. But it was good. Like I said, kick the shit out of the teams that you need to kick the shit out of.
I really hope that Hamaniho and LaChance can get in soon. I don't know what's going on with their injuries, but I really want to see those guys play.
Yeah, I just, my final thought on it is I have the good vibes in this team with the new pieces, where I think it's going to be a situation where we're going to have a good problem with the Gritsuk Mercer. Like, hey, maybe who should move up? Not that either one of them's playing worse, but where can you get even more from them? Like, I could see that happening, and that would only be a positive thing. When you bring in some of these kids, and everything just starts to roll. And then the complementary players, we've kind of beat it to death over the summer. But guys like Brown and what he brings, and then guys like Dadnoff and how he can bring the offense, like these are really big pieces that are kind of under the radar. And then on top of that, when you've got a good news story with the Gritsuk, which again, I think you pencil him in for 20 easy. And if Mercer plays to his ability, now you do have a good problem middle of the year.
Oh, and speaking of Mercer and the filed under Tim was right again. He does look like he's going to be taking that power play 1 spot for Nason. I know everybody's like, put Timo there, but it goes back to my righty lefty issue on the power play. You can't design a power play around trying to execute one play. You just can't do that. What do we got a file here?
The Tim is right folder.
No, that's a good prop to have. I think.
Oh wait, there's a back page here. Something about Timo Meyer heating up in the spring. Yep, that's
Timo Meyer never heats up in the spring. What kind of crazy
not
person
once.
says that?
Not once. You have to go out to your fucking storage unit to find everything that I'm right about. It's just simply a handedness thing. Like, and I think you guys understand what I'm talking about, right? Like the way the Devils set up on the penalty on the power play is the basic structures of 1-3-1,
Right.
So you have Dougie up top, Jack and Brad on the flanks, Nico and Nason were flopping back and forth depending on which side the puck was on.
Right.
So when the puck was on Brad's side, you have Nason up in the bumper because that's a one-timer option here. When it's on Jack's side, Nico's in the bumper, it's a one-timer option there. So they're kind of flopping back and forth depending on what side it's on. And Jack and Brad are kind of doing a lot of motion and cycling around. What I do love is when like Jack comes up top and Dougie cycles down, and where Dougie scored from his one-timer power play goal when they switch places. So if they stay, they generally stay in that 1-3-1-ish formation, but someone is always replacing somebody else in a certain spot, and they just have such good chemistry together. Yeah. And that's what good power plays have is good kind of movement chemistry.
And that's already obvious. The Devils' power play is going to be sick this year.
Yeah,
I mean, it's already ridiculous. And
that's why I'd hammer the over on Mercer goals.
Yeah, I mean, I like everybody to have bounce back years. So, I mean, I'm excited for tomorrow's game, even though it's against the Islanders again. I'm excited for that. I'm super excited for 2 weeks from tonight, I think, right? 2 weeks from tonight is the opener.
I think we're within 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ready my first recap for All About the Jersey, my first game recap. I wonder how much leeway they'll give me to be a fucking sarcastic asshole.
Oh, cool. Just save the draft, add some curses, put it on our site, and we're good.
There you go. And now we have a new game we're going to wrap up with. This is Year of the Devil. Bob, you want to explain to the listeners what this is and how they are to play?
So this game is slightly different than some of the other games we play, like Devil You Know. And this one, I'm going to give 10 total clues. 8 are fairly odd. 2 are pretty much layups. You only get one answer. So if you're online, you type it in when you're ready. If you're a podcaster, you mention it when you're ready. We'll keep it based on the time. So you can't guess twice. If you think you know the era, you might not want to guess right away because you might tip other people off within a year or two. That's all up to you because you can only win if you're the first one to do it. Most important thing, one answer. Okay. Season of the Devils.
And the season you would go with, if you're talking about the 95 Cup winning season, you would just write 1995, not 94, 95.
Yeah, the 94, 95 season is represented as 95, or you can type as much as 94.
Am I typing it? Am I guessing in the in our
You
chat?
can do it either way because there's 2 of you. We'll know who says it first, but once you say an answer, that's what we're going to write down.
Okay.
So
not like we haven't played this game before and I know the rules. I'm just
a while. It's been several months. Yeah. I tried to make a promo for it today, but I didn't have that much time. And then I tried singing to create this kind of jingle. That did not work at all. So we're not ever going to talk about that.
I would love to hear you singing.
We got to get some behind the scenes. We got to get.
I was trying to speak it and then have AI like sing it for me, and all it was doing was give me back my stupid voice. I'm like, no, this is definitely not working. So maybe I'll give it to Chris. He's got a master of weird voices. Okay,
I could put it together for you.
There we go. So,
all right.
This Devils team finished with nearly half as many ties as wins. They had 22 wins and 10 ties. The team
They were a bad team.
leaders in this year in goals were 22, assists 40, points 61, and 162 penalty minutes. The starting goalie won 15 of the 22 total team wins.
They only won 22 games that year.
That's correct. Our team leader in power play goals had 10. A rookie defenseman in just his 8th NHL game scored a hat trick, which is still a record held in the NHL today. The Devils played in the arena named Brendan Byrne Arena at the time. Our number one starter was Chico Resch. 2 players on this team won at least 1 cup with the Devils. And the last of the weirder clues, there's 2 players were Ken Danico, who obviously won all 3, and Bruce Driver, who only won the 95.
I think I might have been a little early.
I have a
No
guess.
guesses yet. Yep, there's only 2. The 2 are the layups coming up, so you got to decide when you want to try to go.
I already gave it up. I threw my guess out.
Okay.
I threw my guess out too.
Where did you throw your guess out, Tim?
I did it in the studio chat. I don't have the YouTube open.
I see this. Oh, that's you in the studio chat?
Yeah.
Okay,
Which one are you? I don't see you. I see the Uncle Pucker one is me. It said 1985. Oh, there you are. Is that you? No.
I said 80. I said 83.
Okay, 83. All
Okay,
right.
so
I think I'm a little early.
We got an 86. We got an 85. We got an 83.
Okay. The last 2 clues. Mel Brigman, the second team captain in history, was also the leader in goals that year, tied with Broughton. Aaron Broughton, that is.
No, look at you.
And this was the 3rd year of the Devils' existence. So Chris is correct with 1985. The 84-85 season.
I win nothing.
You win nothing. Even if you were a fan of the show, we're not giving you shit.
I am a fan of the show.
You should be. Because we are 3 of our 10 downloads each show. So you are an Uber fan.
Hey, wait, I listen to it twice sometimes.
Does that count? Is that?
I think that just means he needs other things to do.
All right.
I
think that was perfect. That was fun. All right.
Yeah, so the one thing we didn't talk about that Sean brought up. Say a prayer goodbye to the jerseys.
Yes.
This is it.
We hardly knew ye. 5 years, much maligned. They grew on me a little bit, but I do believe it is time to move on from them.
I like them. They grew on me. I hated them at first, but they did grow on me. Yeah. I do like them. I did buy one. I do have a Nico one that I bought. Okay. So
my kid loves it.
I'm even more excited to see what next year's 3rd jersey is going to be.
Yeah, we'll probably have some, reference to like some indigenous team from 1895 that played out at the Hackensack Ice House or something like that.
Just go all black. Give us a cool devil logo in the front. That's it.
I would love to see
a New Jersey state patch on the shoulders. That's what I would go with.
Yeah,
state patch
I love this
all black.
The shape of New Jersey is cool. I would like to see the like the Stadium Series, the logo without the circle. Just black jersey with just white, that white logo.
So picture the black jersey with the white logo, the same as it is on the Stadium Series, with the New Jersey on the shoulders and cool white numbers, whatever, and however else. I think that would be an awesome jersey.
But how do we represent the number of counties in New Jersey?
We're not going to do that because there's only 2 counties that are Devils fans, and so we'll just do 2 stripes.
There you go.
How's that sound?
There you go.
So, real quick before we leave, the inspiration for today's season of the Devil came from this beautiful little nugget.
What is that?
This is a game book from 1980-45 for $2.50. A buddy of mine found it at like a garage sale.
That's
Nice.
Picked it up.
awesome.
He's
That's
like, I had
really
to get this to you. So I wanted to open it and just mention there's two things. There's a team spirit in
Okay.
here, which is Laird's Applejack. I'm assuming that's some kind of a whiskey. It's for anybody who wants to put this drink together, it's 1 jigger of Laird's Applejack, a 3rd jigger of Contru, a 3rd jigger of lime juice, a 3rd jigger of cranberry juice, a half teaspoon of sugar. You shake with ice and you strain into a cocktail glass. Apparently, this was a big drink back in 1995. And I have to give some props to 1985 to the Dab beer ad back in 1985.
Grab a dab. That is
Grab a dab.
awesome.
Grab a dab.
Well, this book
Like
is
Princess
killer.
Diana.
It's got interviews with Chico Resch in there and some of the old guys, and it's just it's really cool. So that was
That's
my
an incredible
inspiration
find.
picking
Yes,
this.
it
It is an
is.
incredible find, right? It even comes in this nice plastic bag.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's it. We're going to wrap this show up for the evening, wherever you're watching. If you're on the YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe and the alert bell wherever you're listening. A 5-star review, a positive comment does help the little podcast that could. We will be back probably later on one night over the weekend. We have another game tomorrow, so we can all sit down and have that fun stuff to talk about. But that's basically it, guys. Thank you so much once again for hanging out with us. It is always fun doing this and chilling with you guys. We're the Uncle Puckers, Chris, Tim, and Bobby, and we'll see you when we see you.
Bye-bye.
Nobody likes you, Valcat.
It's over, Johnny. It's over!
All right. Hey, Bobby, are you